What are some things that a teenager should avoid? Addiction, debt and pregnancy are the big ones. But avoid waiting for life to begin. It already has. Go in some positive direction even if you're not sure it's the exact right one. Pregnancies. Really loud music. I mean the kind at a concert front row loud. BC tinnitus really sucks. Trying to change who they are, what they like so as to fit in. It's something you might regret later on. STDs. Procrastination. Not as big as the other ones, but my god. Procrastination can get so bad and affect you so horribly if you let it get out of hand. Social media and seeking others' approval. That will destroy them for years. Fake friends. It's honestly better to have no friends than people who gossip about you and make snide remarks to you. My mom found her dream job in her 30s and my current stepdad in her 50s. Don't be too concerned with whether the things you're doing now is gonna be forever. Do what you can to open doors for yourself, but don't feel forced to think you need to know with who or what you should spend the rest of your life with at this point. Time gives you time to discover more things. Discover more things. And eventually you'll find your way. Even if you didn't realize it. Stop thinking in today and forever. You got all the time to figure it out. Just get yourself a solid foundation and explore. Except for drugs. Don't explore things that you could get addicted to for the rest of your life. Suppressing emotions. It's okay to feel sad, angry, anxious, etc. Don't be made to feel bad for feeling this range of emotions through your teenage years. Avoid skipping the dentist. Even if money is tight, professional cleanings and preventive maintenance will pay dividends later in life. Edit. RIP my inbox. Lack of sleep. It ain't make you cool. Bad company. People that will try to use you and lead you down the wrong path. Anything you wouldn't want your mother to hear about at your trial. Adults trying to be too friendly date you. You're not mature for your age. People their age don't want to be with them or around them for a reason. Nicotine. Don't practice unsafe sex. Condoms and pills are cheaper than having to raise an unplanned child. Tobacco. Drugs. And alcohol. No. They don't make you cool. They are very addictive. And you can't easily shake off the habit. Direct strikes by lightning. Sexting. Your own photos can get you charged for possession and distribution of child pornography. Ironically. Avoid taking out large loans. Any loans if at possible. Though that's difficult if you go to college. Buying a brand new car at a young age is a bad idea. The majority of your small paycheck will be going toward that loan and the insurance. Drugs. Absolutely drugs. If you haven't been financially educated. Credit cards. It's far too easy to get into debt with them and can really destroy your future for years. Avoid listening to advice from idiots on the internet. Thinking they're smarter than everybody else. We were all stupid at that age and you're no exception. Older men. Teenagers often think that they're cool for hooking up with dudes who are far older than them. But the people who hook up with teenagers as older adults are not the cream of the crop. Everyone wants to think they're mature enough to date an older person. But most of the time there's going to be a power imbalance. Drugs, alcohol, and unsafe sex have already been mentioned. So I'm going to suggest toxic friends. Seriously. If your friends only ever get you in trouble and treat you like a burden, they're not your friends. By all means, the prospect of leaving a social group to find another social group can be pretty scary. Facing that fear is better than being around type people. It's cliche as hell to say. I know. But drugs. Absolutely avoid drugs. Drinking too. It is easy for a full-grown adult to use a drug and get addicted before they are even aware there's a problem. So it's stupidly easy for a teen to get form a runaway addiction that can last years if it doesn't out and out kill you from an accidental overdose. But even if you eventually were able to break the addiction, the changes it made to your brain chemistry could be permanent. That's exactly what happened to my brother. He got hit by a car at the age of 12 and his dumbass doctor put him on Percocet and that was all she wrote. From then on it was an ever-sinking fest of one OD after another with more and more delusional behavior and psychological damage to the point now that at 28 he literally has the mind of a 14-year-old cause the drugs never let him grow up properly. So please, stay away. Mass genocide. Most definitely tobacco and alcohol. There's nothing but waste time and money. PRN. Not completely avoid but make sure you don't fall into addiction. And try to reduce it a bit. Because too much of it can really mess you up. Alcohol. It might take a few years. But eventually it will destroy you and your family. Read the many examples here on Reddit of people suffering alcohol addiction. Took my son. Being too adult. Chlamydia. Ever had your pee hole itch? I think every male knows what I'm talking about here. Never resort to soap for lubricant. Bears. Epstein's Island. Trying to be a sap mature and an adult. Enjoy your time and try new things because adults don't judge children. Be curious in that time. And I don't mean drugs. Smoking cigarettes. Teachers that impose their political views. Narrow-minded friends. And voter apathy. IDK. Too much PRN. Ease up on the caffeine and energy drinks. Too much of that stuff has lasting effects on crucial systems like your cardiovascular health. Not picking up a creative and/or athletic skill. One of the problems people face today is obsolescence. The skills you learned in your youth become useless because something new over the horizon will replace it. Kids today look up to influencers and are amazing at making TikToks. But honestly, that's not gonna last. An athletic skill will give you a strong and healthy body for your entire life. A sport develops a competitive and goal-orientated mindset that translates easily into any job. A creative skill develops sensibilities that will shape your worldview. Displaying your creativity gives you the opportunity to express and share yourself. Not to mention that both develop responsibility, time management, and a love of practicing to perfect those skills. In the long run, any of these skills is worth more than any amount of likes. Any man or woman who tells you you're really mature for your age, right square bracket. Stay away from those people. They're creepy groomers. And while you may be mature for your age, an adult should not be interested in a teenager like that. Range of age difference does make a difference. Aside from pregnancies and drugs, I'd say going into debt for stuff that's not actually necessary to survive. Like buying the newest phone, or car, or whatever. Where I live it's still pretty common that younger people take up loans or enter subscriptions contracts, think phone, internet etc. to have the newest gadgets. Only to realize they cannot afford after a while. Then the late fees pile up etc. It can end badly. You grave being an asshole with strangers and your family. You grave being ungrateful for what you have and for what people give you in life. Learn to love yourself first. If you fall in love with yourself, drugs, and safe sex, and generally many other bad habits are very easy to say no to. It helps so much in future relationships and in many other areas. Letting other people make your decisions. I let religion, family, friends, society etc. dictate my behavior. It's comfortable because you tell yourself they know what they're talking about. They don't. Sure, you'll make bad choices, but at least they'll be yours and you can learn from them. There's a special kind of regret you feel when the bad choices you make are a result of other people living your life. Trust yourself enough you fail. Think. Make a choice. And actually live. Avoid feeling like you need to have a good excuse for everything you don't want to participate in. If you tell someone no, it really doesn't matter why. That should be enough. You don't have to keep explaining yourself. Just walk away and eventually you'll meet people who will respect your limits. I had close brushes with the law and things I feel guilty about over a decade later because I caved to peer pressure. Getting into online relationships. Not like friends. Friends are fine, I'm talking about like a date. Everybody here is like Dion do UN's FSX. Joke's on you. Unprotected SX. Cigarettes. If you're already trying to get off of them, you may as well vape. I'm honestly surprised I don't see this mentioned yet. But energy drinks, at least not in moderation. Especially the newer ones like Bang. That have an ass load of caffeine. I was drinking upwards of 3-4 monsters a day as a teenager and wondered why I had insomnia. I'm pretty sure I don't have a heart problem. But even 1 cup of coffee makes my chest hurt a little now. Take care of your bodies. Kids. Pregnancy. Meth. Cocaine. Heroin. Uppers. Downers. PCP. Crack. And ecstasy. Oh, and the Sausage Club. Every school has one. Group of guys that none of them really have a GF, and you know any place they show up there will be trouble. Smoking. Vaping. Drinking. You won't be missing anything. Trust me. Buying too many clothes. When you are young, you get carried away with fashion and spend all of your money and perhaps regret it later. If it makes you happy, then do it, but also think about the future. Maybe that little bit extra put away now will grow if you invest it instead. Alcohol. Smoking. TikTok. That app is destroying teenagers' attention span. Live. Try staying away from PRN. Read a whole bunch of answers, and I, a teenager, am proud to say I hardly do any of them. Only ones I do are a bit of procrastination and asking others for approval. Whoever you think you want to date and are oh so in love with, you're not. Just do yourself a favor and wait. You'll save yourself a ton of heartbreak, terrible sex, and teenage drama. My best friend didn't have her first boyfriend until 23 and she's in the most healthy and loving relationship. Meanwhile, I couldn't wait to start dating and I dated a ton of total losers and suffered through years of garbage sex, and now I don't even talk to any of them. You don't need to date as a teenager. And you will thank yourself later. Honorable mentions. Don't drink and drive. Don't do drugs. Try in school. But it's not the end of the world. You don't have to go to college to be successful. But you do need education. Look at trade schools or apprenticeships if that's something that interests you. Be nice to your family. Start taking care of your skin now. You will be thankful you did when you're 40. Teenage years are the time for making mistakes. For trying out stupid. Time to broaden your experience. Be aware of peril. But be brave. It's a time to spread your wings and take that poorly planned backpacking trip with that hookup you only just met. Because that's the way you discover your surprise love of Italy. Or cookery. Or woodcraft. Or charity work. Which powers your life. So avoid being too cautious. Take a risk. Do something different. Ignore received wisdom, see what happens. It might be your new thing. That said, avoid any addictive drugs. There are some passions which are massively detrimental. Smoking. At the age of 21 you will struggle to climb some stairs. Drinking. If I knew then what I know now, I never would have had that first drink. Drugs. North Korea. Avoiding things. It's a time in your life when you're old enough and capable enough to do a lot of stuff. But still young enough, healthy enough, and free of commitments that you can try all kinds of new things. Get those experiences while you can. They'll make you a more well-rounded adult. Sure, some will turn out to be bad experiences, but you'll learn from that. And that's how you gain wisdom and learn how to set boundaries and choose what to do and not to do. And they make great stories later in life. Reddit. This site is full of mediocre losers wanting other mediocre losers to celebrate their mediocrity with. There's zero critical thinking. It teaches you to celebrate taking the easy path and only agree with the loudest opinion. Look at all that gets posted on gaming subs and voted to the top. Oh, I lost my wife and my job and my parents died and I've been feeling suicidal all year, but all better now because Cyberpunk Arena is nearly out. I bought a gaming PC 70. I'd seriously consider avoiding college. Make sure you are aware of all your options. And don't let your parents make the decision for you. If you are the one taking on the debt, which may not be the case, it's your decision. It would be anyway. Of course. If you do decide to go to college, consider running starting at a community college, and working or running a business while there to keep the cost debt down. There are a lot of professions, businesses that pay very well that do not require a college degree and may be more rewarding and bearable. Don't give in to peer social pressure regarding these things. I'd also suggest making sure you are using your time productively now. This could be with a job or different kinds of projects.